Hello dear student. So hope you all are doing well. So dear student, today we are going to see about 29th May, the Hindu current affairs. So dear student, to get this PDF, you can simply scan this QR code given here. So QR code you can find in multiple locations. So just scan that QR code. Yes, this is the QR code. You can scan it, or you can scan it the application QR code to get access to this PDF. Okay, so let's see what are the news of important news of today. So first one is NDA, that is National Democratic Alliance, ready to form government in Manipur, said the MLA. So 10 MLA met the governor and claim support of 44 lawmakers in the state to form the popular government. Popular government means elected government. They also discuss the law and order and political situation in the state and that are under the president rule, because you know before that president rule, the Manipur government is ruled by Birendra Singh. So Birendra Singh resigned. So after that, president rule is imposed. So legislator discuss security arrangement and way to initiate peace process with the governor. So we'll see one by one the amid the ongoing crisis of civil disobedient movement that is going on in the Manipur. Okay, so some NDA MLA that demand that they meet the governor and demand to form the NDA government. So let's see about the strength of the Manipur Legislative Assembly. So strength क्या है 60 member. So you can say total member is 60. So then Manipur has been on the boil again since May 20, when security personnel allegedly made passenger of bus cover with word Manipur State Transport. So actually there is a festival in Manipur famous called Siroi Lili Festival. For that festival there are some media person, you can say media person, they are traveling. So their bus is covered with the name written is that Manipur State Transport bus. So that bus is covered, so because of security reason, but that otherwise the Manipur people take this very negatively, that they hurt the sentiment of the state. So because of that they are protesting, they are conducting a civil disobedient movement. Okay, so for the worst incident which undermine the Manipur identity, name and pride and their respect. Okay, so because of this boss incident, so they are protesting. They think that in their state there cannot be any removing the name. So next is so there is a comment from the Home Ministry that the free movement is not possible at this moment. It will take little bit of time. We'll discuss that later on also. So next is recently there are a lot of transfer of the High Court judges from one High Court to another High Court. So because of that it is quite news. So let's see how judges are transferred. So it is driven by under Article 222. So it is the Chief Justice of India, like President can transfer High Court judge from one High Court to another High Court on the after consulting with the Chief Justice of India. And Supreme Court Collegium consisting of the 5 senior most judges, including Chief Justice of India, along with the recommendation of the judge, let's say judge from the Allahabad High Court to transfer to the Guwahati High Court. So there need to be recommendation of both the Allahabad High Court as well as the Guwahati High Court. So 7 judges are involved in the transfer of the High Court judges case. So you can see the transfer can be done on the public interest and better administration of the justice. Okay? And the consent of judges is not required. Okay, so we can see that judges, in case of transfer of judges, so it is the judiciary who are playing the primary role. Okay, so there can be a very good prelims question. So dear student, you can write you can comment the comment box. This appointment of judiciary is evolved through the 3 cases. So what are the name of these 3 cases? Okay, so next we'll see about IIP growth fall to 8-month low to 2.7% in the April. So what do you mean by IIP? Index of Industrial Production. So it actually measure how our industry is growing, whatever the amount of output our industry is producing. So it is slow down. So this IIP is released by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Remember, UPSC multiple times asked the question, the report is published by which organization? So you have to remember that. So I have given some additional points. So it is released by, so within that Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, there is a body called National Statistical Office, and the base year they take is 2011 and 12. So manufacturing, so within that index of industrial production, it contributes 3 things. So first one is manufacturing, second one is mining, third one is electricity. So they are in the order. So highest is manufacturing, second is mining, third one is electricity. So there can be a very good question. They will give you 3 terms and ask you arrange them in the ascending and descending. Already they have been asked in the previous year, so please very careful. So next is the 8 core industry, they contribute around 40% of the IIP. So dear student, so please comment in the comment box what are the 8 core industries. So let's see. So next is they are very helpful for decision making by the both RBI as well as the government. Okay, so this is all about all this news. So next we'll see, there is a 70% chance that average warming will exceed 1.5 degree next 4 year, one by United Nations. So United Nations warned on Wednesday that 70% of the chance that average warming from the 2025 to 2029 exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius international benchmark. So our goal is to by 21st century our global warming temperature should be reduced limit within the 1.5 degrees Celsius according to the Paris Agreement. But instead of it is speaking on the 21st century, it is speaking in the 2025 to 2029. So it's a very cause of concern. That means we are emitting too much of emission than than our commitment. So recently two hottest year are 2023 and 2024. So a climate report published by World Meteorological Organization. So dear student, please read about World Meteorological Organization. Dear student, I am giving you lot of tasks after during this video discussion. Please, after completion of during while you are watching all this video, please note it down, and after completion of that just have a look and read all these things and prepare a note. So I'm giving a guarantee that if you follow that principle, you will at least able to solve 10 to 12 extra question in the prelims. So you will get extra 20 to 25 marks. I'm with 100% guarantee that. So please follow that. So next in 2015 Paris Climate Accord aimed to limit the global warming well below 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level. So let's say pre-industrial level हम कब के कब मानते हैं 1850. So during 1850 whatever may be the average temperature. So now in 21st century we should let's say this is the average temperature 27 degrees. So we'll have to limit our temperature at max 2 degree plus the pre-industrial levels. Then only we can ensure that our sustainability. Okay, so next we'll talk about more optimism. So because recently we are achieving 1.5 degrees Celsius, so scientists lose the hope that we are able to control the global warming within the 1.5 degrees Celsius. So then next is every fraction of the degree of additional warming intensify the heat wave extreme and precipitation drought and melting the ice cap. Yes, so आपने देखे होंगे while you are traveling in a bike, so while you are at 40 kilometer per hour, the speed might not you don't feel the speed, but while you are moving at the 60 kilometer hour, you are feeling the speed. Okay, by increasing just 20 kilometer per hour, it is increase the wind velocity, so you feel all these things. So same thing, by increasing temperature 1.5 degrees Celsius you will not feel anything. By increasing temperature 2 degrees Celsius you will feel the problem. Okay, so that is the reason we need to limit our temperature. So dear student, to get this PDF, you simply there is a QR code given below. So scan this QR code, join our application. So there you can get it free of cost. Okay. So next is the nodules spill in a wake of call for export. So recently there is an accident because of this ship that is submerged in the Kerala coast. So because of that, plastic balls or pellets are there spreading all over the oceans. So because of that, it create a apprehension or threat. It can cause severe consequences for people also. While not inherently toxic, these pellets are not toxic. Plastic pellets remain dangerously pollutant because plastic, they will stay thousands years in our environment. Gradually they disintegrate to form the microplastic, then nanoplastic, then fish, all microorganisms, they eat it and gradually entering into our food chain. So their short term and long term impact include habitat contamination, breaking down into micro and nanoplastic, entering the food chain, say the export. So tiny plastic pellets found on the beach of the Thiruvananthapuram following the sinking of the container vessel MSC Ilsa could have serious implication for the marine and coastal ecosystem, human expert one. Okay? So they are while they are not inherently toxic, but their short term and long term impact include habitat contamination. That means they contaminate the habitat of the fish, humans, okay? And they also breaking down into micro nanoplastic and entering the food chain. So the nodal spills on the Kerala coast is wake up call for Indian coastal management and shipping safety. So we need to take precaution step to prevent such incident in the future. So next is so classified as a primary plastic. So these the pellets, they are actually used in lot of wide applications. So mostly low density polythene, high density polyethylene. So they mostly commonly used for material like manufacturing of the products such as plastic bags, film, flexible towing, coating for the paper cartoon. So all these things, bottles, plastic containers, so they are used for that only. So recently Kerala government appoint the volunteer to help them. So also the government prepare rapid response team under the command of the State Pollution Control Board to remove the oil sticks and other hazardous material that are running ashore and posing a threat to the fishermen. And so whenever any ship that is sunk in a ocean, so there is a oil, so within the ship there are a lot of oil are very light, so they start floating and spreading very rapidly on the floor of the ocean. So if you don't able to clear all this oil, so they'll cut off the sunlight will not enter into the sun. So because of that there might be death of all the microorganisms. There is a shortage of the oxygen also. Okay, so because of that we have to act very fast. So next, this is a very good species. So it is called Asiatic wild dog. So ढोल उसको भी बोलते हैं. So dear student, tell me the IUCN status of ढोल. So what is the IUCN status of the ढोल? So please write in the comment box. Also, what is the status, like Wildlife Protection Act, under which schedule it is protected under the Wildlife Protection Act. ठीक है, please write the comment on the comment box. So dear student, whatever task I am giving, please complete this task after completion of the video, and it is my guarantee you will able to solve, you can say around 15 question if you are following very rigorously. So that will fetch you 25 to 30 marks extra. ठीक है. So the Gandhi Zoological Park in Visakhapatnam, World Dhole Day. So park currently houses highest population of the dhole in the India. So there can be good question from which national parks, so which park. So it is the Gandhi Zoological Parks which house largest number of the dhole. So next is Kerala government is planning to law to allow calling of the wild boar. So wild boar, it is called wild boar. So there some species, they are very dangerous to the human and human settlement, and they damage crops. So the state government can declare them the bormin. State can declare them a bormin. Are species legally categorized as a pest or nuisance upon causing damage to the crop, livestock or property. The Wildlife Protection Act, its list bormin animal on Schedule B, but now this schedule has been changed. So bormin, making them subject to the hunting. For example, bormin includes like common crow, there are a lot of bormin in Indian context as well, like common crow, then rat, nilgai is also a bormin. So just you need to know about all these things about bormin. Okay, so next we'll move forward. So Hyderabad teenager became the youngest Indian to finish 7 summit challenge. So नाम क्या है उनका? विश्वनाथ कार्तिकेय पादाकांति. Has the second it is the second youngest person in the world to complete the legendary challenges. So वो क्या किए थे, he climbed the 7 summits. 7 summit को उन्होंने climb करके पहुँचे थे. So what are these mountains? So please open your map, or you can use the Google Earth. You can use your Google Earth, this Google Earth you can use to search all this map. So ठीक है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल माउंट एवरेस्ट यू कैन फाइंड इट. सो यूज़ इट वेरी इनोवेटिवली. देखो कितना इजीली आपको मिल जा रहा है ना. माउंट कैटोपैक्सी, लेट्स से माउंट कोटोपैक्सी, माउंट कोटोपैक्सी, देखो तुरंत आ जाएगा. सो इट इज़ क्वाइट ईजी. ठीक है, सो आप ऐसे करोगे तो इजीली फाउंड ऑल दिस लोकेशन. सो प्लीज़ मैप ऑल दिस लोकेशंस. सो क्लाइंबिंग अकांकागुआ, सो देनाली, किलीमंजारो, एल्ब्रस एंड विंसन. ठीक है, कॉर्सिस्को, ईच climbing towards its mount, and final is Mount Everest. So dear student, tell me like which is the largest, what is the name of the largest peak of India? So which is the you can say highest peak of India. Name the highest peak of India. So next we'll see about Kachatibu. So dear student, Kachatibu island, so it's a island that is located between India and Sri Lanka. So let me tell you the detail about this Kachatibu issue, so that you can understand little bit of better. So I'll just give you a little context. So here it is Sri Lanka. So there is an island located in the this region is called Kachatibu. So this region is shallow water. So because of that, this region is rich in terms of fish. Shallow water, because shallow water में fish rich होती है. But what happened, this Kachatibu was actually disputed territory. But there was an agreement in 1974. By that agreement, India given this Kachatibu to the Sri Lanka. and under this agreement that Indian fishermen can do the traditional fishing there. They can they can dry their net, they can also participate. There is a festival that is going on, they can participate. But now what happened, so because of bottom trawling practice conducted by the Indian fishermen of the Tamil Nadu coast, so there is a decline in the fish in this region. So because of that, the fishermen, they occasionally venturing into the Sri Lankan water. So because of that, Sri Lankan navies, their coast guard, they fire upon our fishermen, they capture their boats. So this issue is going on. And sometimes they also taken the Indian fishermen in the near island of the Kachatipu, because Kachatipu is under now Sri Lankan government, but Indian fishermen can do the traditional fishing. But because of that the Tamilian fishermen, they demand that the Kachatipu should be given back to the India. So this is all issue about the Kachatipu island. So Chief Minister M.K. Stalin ji, retrieving Kachatipu from Sri Lanka could be the only permanent solution to the issue of fishermen face, because whenever the fishermen of Tamil Nadu, they venturing into this land, so Sri Lankan navy, they capture them. So this is the all about the issue. So past 4 year, Sri Lankan navy arrest 1383 fishermen, confiscate their boats. So because of that, there is a lot of hardships to the fishermen. So this is all about the issue. So next, already we have seen about Manipur. So free movement will take time, government tell the Meiteis. I have already told you, in Manipur there are 3 community. One is called Meitei, second one is called Naga, third one is Kuki. So there is a fighting between the Meitei and Kuki, and because of that, government imposed the restriction for movement, and government saying that restriction will take time, like removal of this restriction will take time. So I think here it is written. So Home Minister Amit Shah directed that from March 18 there would be a free movement along the highway, which been blocked since the violence erupted in the May 2023. However, on March 8, amid attempt to enforce this direction, so because of when देखो क्या हुआ था, there is a conflict going on. So because of that, they imposed the blockade, so no free movement, and they open the free movement. Immediately one person is killed. So that forced the government to again reimpose the restriction on the movement. So next, Lokpal give clean chit to the Madhavi Butch in Hindenburg case. So here the important is about Lokpal. So dear student, you can read about Lokpal. So how we are going to read about Lokpal? Simply type provide detail about Lokpal for UPSC. So there is a the Madhavi Puri, former chairperson of this SEBI. Okay? So there is a report by the Hindenburg that they allege that the Madhavpuri Butch, actually they involved in the there is a conflicting of interest. So because of that, there is the investigation, and ultimately the Lokpal given the clean chit. So we'll see some other days about the short selling, all these things. So next is cabinet hike the MSP for Kharif crop, outlay standard 2.07 lakh crore. So let's see about something about minimum support price. So MSP guarantee amount of paid to the farmer when government buy their produce. So it's a guarantee, that is in case of purchase government will pay. So MSP based on the recommendation of the Commission on Cost and Price, CSCP recommend करता है, which is consider factors such as cost of production, which consider the factor like cost of production, demand and supply, market price trend, intercropping, price parity. So these are factors taken by the Commission on Cost and Agriculture Price and then recommend. So CSCP is an attached office, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. So it is an attached office to the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. So Cabinet Committee on Economy Affairs chaired by Prime Minister take final decision. So final decision is taken by the Cabinet. So MSP aim to ensure remunerative price to the grower for their produce and encouraging crop diversification. Then which crops are covered under the MSP? So there are 22 mandated crop and fair remunerative price for sugarcane. So 22 crop को हमें देते हैं, and there is a fair and remunerative price that is provided to sugarcane. So the mandated crop include 14 kharif crop and 6 rabi crop, 2 other commercial crop. ठीक है? So this is all about all program. So dear student, you can join our Dronacharya mentorship program. So it is a one-stop solution for your prelims, mains and interview program. So more detail you can connect with us, we'll provide you detail. So recently US embassy and consulate paused the new student visa appointment, because there is a anti immigrant stand is going on, and because of Donald Trump action against all these immigrant, so they don't issue, they are very skeptical against the foreigner. Okay, so just not much important news. So next is Shashi Tharoor face flank. So this is a political news, but some important thing we can get from here. Okay, so like you can read it. Then India breached the line of control for first time during, so शशि थरूर ने कमेंट कर दिए थे कि शशि थरूर ने क्या कमेंट किए थे, इंडिया ब्रिज द लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल फॉर फर्स्ट टाइम ड्यूरिंग 2016 सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक. ठीक है, बट इन रियलिटी इफ यू लुक इनटू द पास्ट, सो इन 1965 इंडियन आर्मी entered the Pakistan multiple points and which completely surprised the Pakistan. ठीक है, even 1961 we also divide the Pakistan into two part, Bangladesh and Pakistan. ठीक है, so next you can see about there is called Battle of Burki. So officer of the 4th Sikh Regiment posing outside a captured Pakistani police station in Burki, Lahore district, 1965. That there is a controversy that only in 2016 so government crossed the border, but in past multiple occasion we Indian army also crossed the border. So next we'll see about there are multiple all parties to bring impeachment motion against the Allahabad High Court judges. So dear student, please comment how many judges so far have been impeached in Indian Constitution. How many Supreme Court or High Court judges so far have been impeached in in our constitutional, like still starting of our establishment of our constitution. So all political parties seeking an support to bring an impeachment motion against the Allahabad High Court judges Yashwant Verma, who has been indicted by Supreme Court appointment probe after discovery of the blunt crash at his residence. ठीक है, so invoking the provision of article 124 and 218, so the legislator cannot be silent spectator such grave situation, so they have to impeach that judges. ठीक है, so national wide political dialogue. So recently this allegation also opened up the issue of there is a lack of accountability in the judicial process also. So judicial continue to remain opaque in appointment and largely unrepresentative in terms of caste, gender and regional diversity. So judges mostly they are from higher caste, they don't represent the other caste. There is a lack of women judges also, so also regional variation is also lacked. So that is also bigger picture that is showing that we need to reform our judiciary system to bring more transparency. Judiciary cannot stay away from the transparency on the name of separation of power. So next is government notify rules enabling greater jointness, command efficiency in armed forces. So we need to establish integrated command where Navy, Indian Navy, Air Force and Army, they will operate together as a unit. ठीक है, so that together, for example, if we need to fight continuously with Pakistan, so simultaneously while army will conduct the ground operation, the Air Force will conduct the air operation, and Navy will conduct Indian Navy will conduct this bombing of the Karachi port. So simultaneously we can eliminate threat. So because of that we recently taken lot of steps. For example, Inter-Service Organization Control Discipline Act, which come into force May 27. So this is a good step to ensure that inter-service organization, that we can draw officer from Air Force, Navy and Army, and they will place under this single command. So there is a commander or you can head of, so that is having all power to take action against all this person. So bill was passed by the both house of the parliament during monsoon session of 2022. It has received the assent of the president also. So the act empowered the commander-in-chief and officer-in-command of the inter-service operation exercise command control over the serving person. ठीक है ना, जो head रहेंगे, like whoever may be the head of that command, so having all power over the all the three service. So this is to be achieved without altering the unique service condition applicable to each branch of the armed forces. So this is a critical enabler. The rule are critical enabler for functioning of the, ठीक है ना, तो integrated service की functioning के लिए. So military reform, so we have taken a lot of military reform. For example, we have created post of Chief of Defence Staff in 2019. So promote the jointness of the three service in operation, logistics and transportations to reduce the cost. ठीक है, so I have given you some important information about the Chief of Defence Staff. So Chief of Defence Staff will act as a principal military advisor to Ministry of Defense. So then he is also heading the military. So DMA, Department of Military Affairs. So what are the objective? Promoting jointness, facilitate restructuring of the military command, promoting use of indigenous equipment. So permanent, he is also going to act as a permanent chairman of the Chief of Defence Staff. So administer all tri-service organization and command, functioning as a military advisor to the Nuclear Command Authority. So what is the name of the Nuclear Command Authority? Like, who is heading this Nuclear Command Authority? Please give the comment in the comment box. So next is coordinate operation, logistics, transport, training, support, service, communication in all the three service. So you can see basic objective or goal of this CDS is to ensure the jointness of the operation, or reducing the cost. So next, it is not much important. So it is saying that Trump trade access Trump's trade access offer led to the ceasefire, said by the US. Like US officials said that Donald Trump bring the ceasefire between India and Pakistan by offering several trade concessions to the both India and Pakistan. But our government has denied it outrightly. So it is, our government said that it is because of direct phone call and discussion between the Pakistan army and Indian army led to the ceasefire. So next is center ask Rajasthan to prove income certificate of the certain officer, because there are so many fraud people they entering into. So because of that, it is quite news, not much important. Next is UPSC is the application process with a new portal. So those who are going to appear in the next year, please read this for you. So it is creating a very user friendly portal so that you can log in. So next is, it is talking about inadequate diagnosis service, still a critical gap in the cancer care in the India. Okay? To ensure the proper cancer care, we need to have a proper diagnostic. So delayed diagnostic can lead to the death of our large number of population. So you can find that in India there are around 2 lakh new cancer cases each year. So and out of that, more than 60% of the patient in India present at the stage 3 or stage 4, when the level of severity is very high, so there is chances of survival is very less when compared to USA. The patient they screen at the stage 1. So when you have about the person is suffering from cancer very early stage, so you can take some remedial measure. Okay? So India is ranked 3rd in cancer after the China and USA. Okay? So why this is why this cancer is so widespread? Because of lack of diagnostic. So when people don't know about their cancer condition, so they take they took the treatment at later stage. Okay? So this is all about that. So next is e-commerce farm one about dark pattern. So there can be a good question on UPSC. So they can ask the dark pattern or something seen in news related to what. So you should know that it is it's a deceptive behavior. So Consumer Affairs Ministry Prahlad Joshi met with the representative of various e-commerce firm. So dark pattern warning them that app design that are intended to deceive and not user to spend more or compromise their privacy were unfair trade practice. So आप देखे होंगे बहुत सारे क्या होती है, whenever you buy something they add automatically to your cart, and sometimes we pay them, and they also sometimes force us to disclose, and they ask us to give detail of our credit card or debit card to give some service. So this is what called dark pattern. Okay? So there is a organization called Central Consumer Protection Authority. So they basically protect the consumer all this dark pattern. So Central Consumer Protection Authority released guideline against the dark pattern in 2023 under Consumer Protection Act 2019. So the government noticed a significant surge in consumer complaint related to dark pattern on the National Consumer Helpline. Okay? So next we'll see about malaria infection. Create a special immunocell the major study by providing the T cells one follow during the malaria infection. New study offer a way of developing more effective vaccine against the malaria. Finding may also open new avenue of research into the immunology of other infections disease, new way to conquer them. So let's see first about which species is causing the malaria. So there can be a good prelims question. A feeding a female anopheles mosquito can spread the malaria, and it is killing around 6.2 lakh people each year. Okay? And 24 crore people infect 24 crore people annually. So they are mostly affect the children, and the continent that is most affected by this malaria, it's Africa and Asia. So we know that immunocell like TR1 cell play dominant role in mounting immune response to a malaria. So whenever malaria parasite enter our body, so our immunocell fight back. So are far reaching, so this finding are far reaching potential, opening new pathway to conquer not only malaria but also difficult infection for which we currently lack effective vaccine. So the finding can help to find new vaccine for other also. So it is talking about how, like, our body provide different kind of immune to this infection. So just read it out, you'll find that. So detail it is talking about. Okay. Okay, so like it's giving a lot of arguments, so just read it out, you'll understand it better. So next we'll see something from the back. So this is sports news, you can read it out. So nothing there. So it is talking about, after fall of the Assad government in the Syria, so now Turkey and Saudi Arabia, they maintain very good relation. Actually Saudi Arabia and Turkey, they are not having good relation for first few years. So both country enjoy the middle power status, like they are not big power, they are not the small power, so they are the big power. So what are these competitions? So the two also have different approach to the politics. So for example, Turkey have backed the Muslim Brotherhood, a pan-Arab Islamic movement that Saudi Arab consider as a terror organization. Okay. Second one is there is a Arab Spring that aim to replace all these dictator with the democratic elected government, and Turkey openly supported the popular uprising, while kingdom, because the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they are ruled by the king, so they opposed it. Okay. So next is both Ankara and like means Turkey and Riyadh back the anti-Assad faction in the Syria 13-year war, civil war. Okay. So this is a good news, like this is a good news for this region, because it will be bring peace to this region. Okay. So next is Japan is enacting law to obliging big farm to join the carbon trading. So carbon trading, what do you mean by carbon trading? So let's say there is two company A and B. Okay. So government impose restriction, all the like A and B, they cannot emit more than 100 tons of carbon dioxide. Let's say A is able to control its emission 10 ton and B is not able to control its emission exceed 120 ton. So in that case, the company B can sell 20 extra, buy 20 extra from the company A by means of carbon trading. So ultimately at the end we are able to limit our emissions. Okay. So Japan Parliament enacted law on the Wednesday obliging hundreds of major companies to participate in carbon emissions trading system as part of its effort to achieve the country climate goal. Whenever company found that it is very difficult, like cost of buying this carbon credit is very high, so they will invest in the green technology, like solar energy, wind energy, so that will help in bringing green energy. And you can see here, Japan is the world's fourth largest economy, has set a target of becoming carbon neutral by 2050 and cut emission by 46% 2030 from 2013 level. So dear student, recently there is a change in the ranking. Japan is no longer is the fourth largest economy of the world. Okay. So recently you can give me in the comment box, write down the top 5 economy of the world as per the recent report. Top 5 economy of the world, just write the comment in the comment box. So foreign student face uncertainty as the Trump step up the attack on the university. So now Trump is very critical about the foreign students, so because of that, lot of students, they are facing very problem. So next we can say that rise of autonomous robot AI promote dark factories. So okay, so this is just how AI is going to change everything. So India may balance lower agri product tariff for USA with quota and minimum import price. Okay. So there is a tussle, or you can say the tariff war going on between the India and USA. So India may agree to lower import duty and other barrier on certain agricultural product as part of the interim trade deal begin with the USA. Okay. So that include quota or minimum import price, because the farmer of USA, they are big farmers, so they can use high value of chemical machines to ensure that production cost is very less. But in India, our farmers are very small, so they don't have economy of scale, so production cost is very high. If we allow import, unregulated import from the from USA, so that might flood our market, so which is very cheap. So, in India, the farmer are very small farmers. So, if we allow unregulated import from USA, so that might flood our market with cheap products. So, our farmer might suffer. So, because of that, so we are negotiating, negotiating hard for to protect our farmers. So, this is essentially to avoid full-blown USA reciprocal tariff fixed at 26% on India when 96 days tariff pause period is end. So after Donald Trump coming into power, imposed 26% tariff on the India. So USA has been insisting India on lower import duty and other barrier on a whole range of agricultural products such as corn, soya, apples, cotton and walnuts, poultry, all these products. So lowering import duties, some farm item fixing quota only. Why India is resisting? India continue resisting pressure on the giving concession on staples like rice, wheat, which are essential for country food security, ensuring livelihood of our farmer. If we allow unregulated entry of US farm products, so that might flood our market with all these things, and ultimately that is going to impact our farmers. Okay. So let's see about FDI. So increasing outward FDI by Indian farm. So that means from India. So India FDI is flowing outside. Earlier all over the world FDI is coming to India, but now the FDI is moving from India to outward. So Indian company turn cautious on investing within country, and global economic scenario remain uncertain. So increasing outward FDI by Indian companies. So they are taking money from India and investing all over the world. Okay? So that Indian overseas direct investment increased to 12.5 billion. Okay? So uncertain world and all these things. So that is what is a sign of we can say we need to study more about why FDI is moving outward. So dear student, you can get this PDF, this infographics PDF. You can get this PDF by scanning this QR code. So next, let's see about a very important news. The how was the Supreme Court debated from the POCSO in recent judgment. So dear student, this is a very important thing. We need to know about POCSO. The Supreme Court declined to impose sentence on a man convicted under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offence Act. Noting that victim did not view the incident as a crime, had suffered from the. So these are the current news, not much important. This is what important for our exam. So POCSO was enacted in 2012. The POCSO Act criminalize both penetrative and non-penetrative sexual assault. So sexual harassment, child pornography. So it's a gender neutral law. Even female, male, both can be punished. So POCSO deem all minor under the 18. So anyone below the 18 age is considered as a minor. Any offence against them is treated under the POCSO. So it also processes the child friendly. Like all the procedure is very child friendly. The court is child friendly. And special courts, it established special court in camera trial. That means private. It's not open to all. So video recording testimony. So whatever testimony given by children, they can be video recorded with strict penalty and presumption of guilty on the accused. So those who are accused, that means let's say person is accused of crime, so it is the responsibility of that person to prove his innocence. So it provides for time bound trial. The act aim to fill the critical legislative voids and deliver swift victim centric justice. So let's see, this is all the important aspect of this news. So then remaining all these things, they are given current, so that is not much important. So one important aspect is about article 142. So it is given extraordinary power to the Supreme Court to pass some decree, order and justice to ensure that complete justice. So Supreme Court can take any decisions to make any decree, any judgment to ensure the complete justice. So article 142 is very important, so because it is giving huge power to the Supreme Court. So next it is talking about what is the importance of the Deputy Speaker. So the Deputy Speaker, not a mayor as substitute of the Speaker, he play indispensable role in maintaining the continuity of the legislative work, and conventionally this position has been handed over to the opposition in order to develop harmony between the ruling party and the opposition. So though the role of the Deputy Speaker is very important, but recently the Deputy Speaker post is lying vacant. The position of the Deputy Speaker post is lying vacant for past 6 years, raising the question on the constitutional adherence and democratic resilience. So we'll see why Deputy Speaker role is very important. So Deputy Speaker is not a mere a substitute of the Speaker. He plays an indispensable role in maintaining continuity of legislative work. He also presides over the committees such as Private Member Bill, House Budget Committee of Parliament, oversees crucial debating, serve as a neutral arbitrator in sensitive discussions. ठीक है. So Article 93 provide for Deputy Speaker, ठीक है, of the Constitution. So language of the article which include the phrase as soon as, that means we need to appoint the Deputy Speaker like urgently and necessarily. So Article 94 reinforce the continuity of the Deputy Speaker office until resignation, removal or disqualification. So conventionally the position of the Speaker, goes to the ruling party, because ruling party is having majority, so they can win that contest. But Deputy Speaker generally conventionally, that means conventionally it's a practice in Indian parliamentary system that Deputy Speaker post is generally given to the Deputy Speaker post is generally given to the opposition. This essence is practice is develop harmony between the ruling party and opposition for smooth functioning of the parliament. ठीक है. So but prolonged vacancy. So Government of India did not appoint Deputy Speaker in 17th Lok Sabha for long period of time. This appear now that it does not have Deputy Speaker अभी 18th Lok Sabha में भी. So now there is no Deputy Speaker. ठीक है. So which is not good. According to the rule 8 of the rules of procedure, conduct of business of Lok Sabha, election to the post of Deputy Speaker shall be held on such date as the Speaker may fix. ठीक है. Speaker जब fix करेंगे तब करेंगे. He enjoy the same power as the Speaker when he preside over the sitting of the House. जब वो sitting का preside करेंगे, so same power as the Speaker of the House. According to Article 180 of the Constitution, Deputy Speaker has the power to conduct duty Speaker when his chair is vacant. Thus, the vacancy violates not only the Article 93, 94 and 180 of the Constitution, which is also inconsistent with the rules of procedure of the Parliament. So in a democratic elected government, there should be a Deputy Speaker. So Article 93 provide for election of Deputy Speaker as soon as. So it does not set a timeline. So that is the reason there is delay. So there is a misusing of this provision. This misinterpretation of this phrase may lead to the long delay, which is distort the constitutional intent and create constitutional vacuum. So conventionally the position handed over to the opposition. That means it is not mentioned in the constitution or the law aspect. It is generally given to the opposition. So opposition authority centralized in the speaker. So thereby ruling party, which will be inconsistent with the democratic intent of the Constitution. So this is all about. So please read. I have just highlighted every aspect, important aspect. Please go through it and get a lot of insights. So next it is talking about how measles vaccine prevent 9 crore death in the worldwide. So it is talking about how vaccination is saved a number of people. So you can see that importance of the vaccination and reducing human mortality, and help in stabilizing population. So next there is a very important aspect. It's talking about RBI remittance. So there is a survey conducted by the RBI. So how our remittances, like our migrant, our immigrant, those who are staying outside the India, diaspora of India, they are sending a lot of remittances to the India. So dear student, please comment on the comment box top 5 world recipient of the remittances. Top 5 recipient of the remittances all over the world. Okay? So remittances have been long played quite a crucial role in Indian external sector balance. But in terms of policy attention, they have often been overshadowed by the indications such as foreign direct investment and trade flow. So what is the value of remittances India receive? Remittances means, let's say an Indian person is staying in USA. And there the person is earning lot of income and send money back to the India. This money sent back is called remittances. Okay? So 180 billion. So their amount is very high. So that exceeding the FDI flow, also financing half of our deficit, merchandise deficit. India persistently high remittances flow continue vital stabilizing force in the context of global economy uncertainty and tightening financial conditions. So this is helping in overcoming our current account deficit and balancing everything. So earlier our remittances mostly coming from the Gulf Cooperation Council. Now they are coming from the advanced country. For example, USA account from 27% of our remittances. So that means all remittances are from the high paid jobs. So USA, UK, Canada, Australia, Singapore, they together account the 51% of the flow, overtaking the cumulative share of the 6 Gulf Council. Dear student, study about Gulf Cooperative Council. Like what are the countries? They are part of this Gulf cooperative council. Just read them, have a look on the map. Okay, so so that our person are moving from low skill to the high skilled. So if you look into the different state they are receiving remittances, you will find that Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan receive only 6% of the remittances, while Maharashtra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu receive 51. There is a wide regional variation in terms of receiving remittances. So why this is happening? So because of national skilling mission must. So this is happening because different level of education level, different level of poverty awareness. People, let's say this region don't know about the language barrier. So because of that this is happening. So how we are going to bridge that? By having national skill mission must be must become far. We need to impart training to all these people. So India risk pertaining to remittances, elite region, household of the social capital to migrate, and financial literacy to live by leaving rest behind. Okay, so like this is all about this article. So I've already highlighted. To get this article, just simply scan the QR code, you'll get it. So next it is talking about Indian monsoon. So Indian monsoon, we've already seen that it is arrived 1 week earlier than normal arrival dates. So this year the IMD predict that the monsoon is going to be a normal monsoon, not much important. India financial sector, so we need to financial sector reform. For example, like some of the reform we need to take, like for example nominee related things. Then we need to take a lot of reform related to bond market. Currently our corporate market is not properly developed. So because of that, when you don't have proper corporate bond markets, so in that case what will happen, that they take loan from the bank at higher interest rate. When corporate cost of doing business is high, so their product cost is high. So when your product cost is high, so that international competitiveness, so that is going to impact our export. So we need to develop the corporate bond market. So next is talking about we need to improve our KYC norms to be compliant with the financial action task force norms. So next is talking about we need to provide long term retirement planning. Okay, so for that we need to have lot of product, and there is a commissioning charges. So there is a commissioning charges that is charging 2% for next 30 years. So we need to reduce that, because 30 year if someone is charging 2%, which is significant amount. So next is shadow banking. Shadow banking means which is functioning like a bank, but they are not the bank. For example, non-banking financial corporation, NBCs, so they margin lender, repo rate. So these are functioning without proper regulation. So because of that there is a lot of crisis. You can see in infrastructure lending, financial service, there is a crisis. So we need to have proper data. So that we can regulate better. Okay, so recently Union has already passed a legislation to gather comprehensive data on this shadow banking activity. India can follow the same thing to bring about transparency. So next is we need coherent and forward-looking strategy that harmonize rules across the verticals, nurturing deep markets. Okay, so we need to have proper rules. So next it is talking about how our national education policy is going to help. So it's talking about different aspect, like so it is talking about how it is giving you accessibility education, so that you can do multiple innovative education and complete that courses. So it is also talking about how our national education policy help to achieve global competitiveness. Okay, so next it is talking about how it is compliant with the job. So just read it out, you'll understand it better. So dear student, so this is all about today newspaper. So again we'll meet tomorrow. So bye bye, take care. Innovative education and complete that courses. So it is also talking about how our national education policy help to achieve global competitiveness. Okay, so next it is talking about how it is compliant with the job. So just read it out, you'll understand it better. So dear student, so this is all about today newspaper. So again we'll meet tomorrow. So till then, bye bye, take care.